Hello, everyone. I think we have some people in the meeting already. I'm so sorry because I'm sharing my screen. I cannot see the details. Welcome to this session of a Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion project. We have within this project, we have a series of training sessions delivered by experts for our members in order to help them in certain areas for their operations. I just wanted to say a quick welcome to all. I'm Zerrin. I'm the projects coordinator at WFTO Global Office, and I'm also, of course, working on this project together with some of my colleagues from WFTO, but also different project partners such as Sustainable Journey, WFTO Europe, and the Polish Fair Trade Federation. So a warm welcome from all of us to you. Before we get started, I just want to ask any of my colleagues if you want to say a few words for welcoming words. Otherwise, I will leave the floor to our speakers, Başak, Demir, and Mikkel Nørgård, representing Sustainable Journey and WFTO Europe. And today they're here to share their expertise with all of us and with all of you. So yeah, I mean, I'm just leaving it out there. If anybody wants to chime in, Robert, Isabella, if you want to add anything, please do so. Otherwise, I will leave the floor to Başak and Mikkel.
Thank you. I guess we can leave them the floor. They will present themselves. They're our dear colleagues. So today it's a real pleasure and an honor to listen to one of their lectures. Enjoy.
Thank you, Zerrin. Thank you, Isabella. Good afternoon from Istanbul. It's already 4 p.m. here, so I don't know where you are, but I hope you are already enjoying your day. So as Zerrin just explained, we are initiating a series of trainings and webinars focusing on sustainability and circular economy. We will be focusing on the basis of sustainability and circularity today at our training. And soon after the training, we will have webinars to focus on deeper on how markets are changing and how different geographies, especially the Europe market is changing and responding with its Green Deal. So Mikkel, my colleague Mikkel from WFTO Europe, and I will be delivering the session and the upcoming webinars. First of all, I will. Can you move forward there in the slides, please? Okay, so as I've just explained, Mikkel and I am responsible for the content and the delivery of these contents to you today and in the upcoming weeks. So today we will look into the major sustainability challenges of the planet and how they are related to the current economic system, which we name as linear economy, and how we see circular economy models could provide alternative solutions to overcome these challenges we face, and how at a global level the sustainability agenda is indeed presenting sustainable production and consumption as a way to move forward to overcome the climate crisis and the challenges that we face together with global warming. And so all of these major issues are discussed at global platforms, and the European Union has been actually strategically focusing on sustainability and circularity with different tools and policies, which shapes the whole market in Europe, but also in other geographies as well. So I will be focusing on the main topics that are relevant to understand how the markets are changing. So what sustainable production and consumption is, how we can promote circularity through eco-design strategies, and how the fashion industry is reshaping through these strategies, and other relevant strategies and policies that are directly influencing how the markets are changing. So these topics will be briefly discussed and introduced at this session today. And afterwards, we will, Mikkel and I will look into deeper at the workshops to the strategies that will be affecting global supply chains and how we produce and consume goods. Today's course will focus on mainly sustainable development and how it's triggered or disabled with climate crisis, the capacity, regenerative capacity of our planet, and what material scarcity is, and how it is significant from the perspective of circular economy, and what are the principles and models of circular economy that are presented as global solutions to the current challenges. Next, please. Next slide, please. So indeed, sustainability is a term that we hear constantly, and we have different ideas about sustainability, probably. On one hand, we discuss the sustainability of the planet. On the other hand, we focus on the sustainability of the constructed systems or designs, human-made systems and designs. So indeed, what we understand from sustainability is the ability of a constructed system or a design to remain functional and preserve its value in the long term. So the design or the system should be in harmony with environmental, social, and economic dynamics today and in the long term to be able to consider it as sustainable. So keeping this definition in mind, we will look into whether if the planet is sustainable and whether if human constructed systems, mechanisms, designs are sustainable today. So we've been discussing about the sustainability challenges. We indeed experience the challenges or hear about the challenges every day in our lives. But it is really important to understand what sustainability, how the planet is facing sustainability as a challenge, a major challenge, and how global platforms such as United Nations, World Economic Forum, or the European Union address these sustainability challenges, and how they affect our economies, how they affect our social systems, mechanisms, and how it affects our lives. So we need to understand that our planet has boundaries, and indeed it means that our planet has biophysical limits. So if these limits are passed, the planet will not be stable and resilient anymore. So we are talking about the planetary boundaries that describe limits to the impacts of human activities on the Earth system. And if we pass these limits, the environment may not be able to continue to self-regulate, and we will be passing the period of stability. So basically, there are 9 boundaries, and these boundaries are directly related to water, land, air. And I don't think that we need to focus deeply on the boundaries and name them specifically, but indeed, what we need to understand that our actions, especially the economic system of the industrialized societies, are limiting the boundaries of the planet. And when we take each planetary boundary, we see that the root cause in the way of our economies operate limits and overpass the boundaries of the globe. And since these boundaries are interdependent, can you move to the next slide, Zerrin? Okay, thank you. When we tip over the edge of any boundary, we accelerate and exacerbate the risk of crossing others. And unfortunately, already 6 of these boundaries have been crossed. And the main boundary is the climate change. Next slide, please. And the effects of the climate change is they are perhaps the most obvious. We hear about climate change, and climate change affects all other boundaries. So since the climate has been changing and the global warming causes climate crisis, all other boundaries have already been affected, and some of them have overpassed. Next one, please. So we have a global climate. It's a connected system. Sun, earth, oceans, wind, rain, snow, forests, deserts, savannas, everything we do, they're all connected. So actually, climate of a geography of a region is not separate than any other climate of any other part of the world. So since this system, climate connectedness, is very complicated, and since it's so interconnected, once it is broken from one area, the whole other parts of the globe is affected. Next one, please. So the main cause is global warming. What we do is how we with the way we make and use products, goods, food, we increase the temperature, average temperature of the atmosphere. And as the Earth gets warmer in general, not specifically in one geography, the whole ecosystem gets disrupted and destroyed. So that's what I'm trying to say. All these boundaries are transpassed as we move forward. Next one, please. So how do we heat up the atmosphere? Mainly, actually, the emissions from industrial production processes, emissions from deforestation and land system change, and emissions from landfill and incineration. So as you see, the whole production and consumption mechanism we operate in, which is the linear economy, causes the global warming, and it affects the global planet boundaries and the stability and resilience of the planet. So, unfortunately, as I've just explained, during our daily lives, we face climate hazards due to global warming. We come across hazards that are not foreseen, that are not controllable, and since all of the climate hazards are unforeseeable, they also risk our human systems. So can you move forward, Zerrin? The slides, please. Next one. Yes. And indeed, we have our human systems are severely affected. When we look at the severe natural disasters, climate hazards, between 2000 and 2020, we experienced around 7,500 severe natural disasters at global level. 4.2 billion people have been affected from these natural disasters, big severe natural disasters. 1.23 billion people have died due to these natural disasters. And as you can see, only 3% of these natural disasters are earthquakes, and almost all of them are directly related to global warming and climate crises. Indeed, besides our losses, as people are directly affected or died, as I've just said, our man-made systems, our designed mechanisms are directly affected from these natural disasters, and $3 trillion loss we have experienced globally in 20 years. So why am I trying to explain all these to you is for all of us to understand that what we are experiencing globally due to sustainability challenges directly affect the man-made systems, mechanisms, and cause severe losses. And that's why the markets and the governments are and international organizations like United Nations and World Economic Forum focus and make sustainability as one of their primary agendas today. So all these natural disasters, climate hazards caused due to global warming and climate change have exponential impacts on the constructed systems. Next one, please. And so mainly we have a severe biodiversity loss. We face severe food insecurity, food chain disruptions, and all these limits to the resources and disruptions in the mechanisms cause conflicts at political level as well. And we have started to experience the increase in climate refugees, and many geographies are now left behind because people are not able to live there anymore. Next one, please. So as I explained earlier, we need to understand that sustainability is a term that we use for the planet, for the Earth, and also for the systems we have designed and execute. So the whole mechanism, as well as the Earth, is unsustainable today because it is not in line with the needs of the economy, environment, and social mechanisms. Next one, please. It is also important to understand that all these extreme weather events, such as coastal and inland flooding, heat waves, droughts, wildfires, cause ripple effects across modern urban structure systems. So they are highly interrelated. All of them have different effects, different negatives on different man-made mechanism and infrastructure systems. And besides, next one, please. Since we have interdependencies between infrastructures, climate risks increase sectoral, decrease the resilience of sectors, and which affect the which negatively affect the resilience of global supply chains. So modern urban infrastructure systems for the energy, transportation, telecommunications, water, wastewater, solid waste, and food sectors, since they are highly interdependent, the wide-reaching impacts of climate hazards on key sectors have cascading impacts since we have interdependence between them. So what I'm trying to say is, when we have energy cuts, that directly affects transportation systems as well, and also water supply systems. So we need to understand that the whole mechanism is interdependent, and as we experience natural disasters due to global warming and climate crises, all the sectors, main sectors that all other market sectors are dependent on, gets destroyed and even disrupted. So next slide, please. And at the end of the day, that affects our business continuity at supply chain level, global supply chain level, and also resilience of individual businesses, individual enterprises. For instance, when we experience crop failures or shortages due to floods, we also experience damages or disruptions in the critical infrastructure, such as roads, sea lines. They get severely damaged as well. and the critical infrastructures, damaged critical infrastructures cut logistical networks, and which disrupt the supply chain. So at the end of the day, both the production costs and the cost of the products increase. You see the next slide, please. Yes. So you see the presumption of World Economic Forum, the first top 10 global risks they consider at global level. And the ones you see on the left are for the next upcoming 2 years. And the the ones on the right are the global risks WEF foresees for the upcoming 10 years. And as you can relate, the green ones are directly related to environmental risks, and the environmental risks for the next 10 years will be the main risks of the global economy. Unfortunately, we foresee that these risks will be exponentially increased as the global warming will be exponentially increasing. Next one, please. And unfortunately, the United Nations announced the risk of an uninsurable future. What it means that our insuring system is becoming unsustainable as well. So our assets, our products won't be insurable by the insurance system for the upcoming future, near future, if we continue with the current production and consumption behavior we do today. So next one, please. How do companies react to global warming and these global risks? I just wanted to share one example from Nestle. The companies indeed are looking closer to their own climate risks currently, and they're indeed assessing the climate risks and developing their strategies for risk management and overcome these risks. I wanted to share this specific example because it is directly related to global. Next one, please. To some of the products produced by fair trade enterprises. And since these products are produced in geographies where global warming is severe, Nestle and similar other companies are now trying to understand how they need to, if they need to, change supply chains they operate in to be able to manage their own risks. And next one, please. Not only World Economic Forum, United Nations, our companies, but different governments, countries, sub-regions, they're also working, trying to understand these climate risks and sustainability challenges, and develop legislative frameworks accordingly to cope with global warming, but also not to be able to lose their competitive advantages in the markets. Yes, next one, please. So this is how I can present sustainability to you in half an hour, and the challenges and risks against challenges and risks we face as mankind, and the systems that we have constructed, designed, what we face, rather how our resilience can be negatively affected by these risks. I think it is important to understand the general picture to be able to understand how the market will be changing, is already changing, and what is needed, from which perspective it is needed. So it is really important to understand that all mechanisms are interconnected, and the whole systems are negatively affected as the planetary boundary and the limits of our planet are passed. So at this stage, I've explained the negative side, and I'm going to try to explain the positive, the positivist perspective with the introduction to circular economy. And circular economy is foreseen as a new economic model which can regenerate nature and natural systems. And that's why we need to think beyond waste and recycling, and we need to actually start producing and consuming with the circular mindset. Next one, please. So our Earth is a living mechanism. It has a regenerative capacity, but with the current linear economic model we have, with the current production and consumption patterns we operate, unfortunately, we disable the regenerative capacity of the Earth. What I'm trying to say is, I think this cartoon explains it well. We use the resources the Earth provides to us and keeps regenerating for us. And we create, make goods and objects. And these objects create mass, and this mass has already exceeded the whole biomass in the Earth. So what I'm trying to do is, we are indeed decreasing the resources the planet can offer to humanity, and we do this by using the nature almost twice faster than the planet's bio capacity generates. So we use 1.7 Earth capacity currently, and as human population increases, and as we do not slow down our consumption, indeed we will be in need of 3 3 times more the resources that the Earth can regenerate for us by 2050. So what does it mean? It means that our resources are limited. Even if we want to operate and consume as fast as we do today, we won't be able to do it. The actually linear economic model, since it's unsustainable, the whole system will face severe shortages very soon, especially when we look at the critical raw materials, energy, metals, minerals. Since they're very limited, the known reserves that we have, if we don't keep them in use in cycles, if we discard them as we do today, indeed, the demand it won't be able to left to the demand by the second half of the century. So linear economy, next one, please. Next one. Linear economy, basically, we take the resources the Earth provides. We make our products, we consume the products, and we consume them fast, and we dispose them fast, indeed wasting and polluting them. So next one, please. A little bit more complicated diagram, but it's still basic. We have infinite resources. We use these resources and while we manufacture goods, we waste a lot of resources during the manufacturing process as well as consumption process, and we create a lot of pollution all the way along the process. So it's important to understand that when we discard the product, when we waste the product, we waste all the resources embedded for the manufacturing or the production of any good. So we waste materials, we waste energy, we waste even the knowledge invested in the product at the stage, at every stage of the production. So it is really important to think in a manner not to lose the resources that we embed into the goods that we produce during the production processes, as well as while we are consuming, using these goods. So we need to rethink how we shall design a product not to lose all these resources, and we need to be able to think that we need longer terms of usage of all these products. So we need to create multiple life cycles for the products we produce. Next one, please. And next one. Yes, we can move forward. So the design of any product is indeed crucial to make a product durable, repairable, upgradable, so that the product stays in use longer. So when function of a product ends for one group of a group of consumers, the function continues for other consumers or other groups of consumers. So we need to think how durable, how sustainable products could become at the design phase of the product. So of course, once the product is designed, we need to use circular, sustainable materials, even recycled materials instead of virgin, new, and finite materials. And when after the production, when we move to consumption phase, with the first designed mentality, the product should be able to repaired, reused, refurbished, recycled, and even decomposed parts of the products should be decomposed to be used as byproducts or other products. Next one, please. In between, we need to think, actually, when we think about the materials, we also should not forget that we need to limit water usage, and we need to actually reuse of water, used water, excess materials, and recover chemicals, so that it is sustainable, but it is good for human health as well. Next one. So circular economy models. Next one, please. If a product cannot be reduced, or it cannot be reduced, reused, repaired, rebuilt, refurbished, refinished, resold, recycled, or composted, then it should be restricted, circular economy says. And it should either be redesigned or removed from production and the system at all. So what I'm trying to say basically is, next one, please. We need to think what we really need when we are producing and when we are consuming. What do we really need? Do we need a drill, or do we need a hole? Next one, please. Indeed, when we look at the principles of circular economy, 9R, I'm sure they're not, they won't be new to you, because these R's are quite known, and it has basis in our earlier traditional production terms, but in time, as the consumption patterns change, we forgot, or we discarded these principles. So now the new markets the more complicated product manufacturers try to look back into these 9 principles of circular economy to simplify products and to increase the durability of the products. So when we produce goods and then we are as consumers, we should first refuse and think for longer, a couple of seconds or minutes, if we really need that good, or if we really need that resource to produce any goods, and if it's possible to reduce the resources we use for manufacturing, for producing the products, our products. Next one, please. And we should keep in mind that these products should be durable, they should be reusable. So if without changing at all, they should be reusable, and if needed, they should be repairable and refurbishable. And next, please. And the manufacturers, industries look into how they can actually remanufacture and, of course, refurbish. At the end of the day, if these R's don't work, recycle the current goods into new items or resources. Next one, please. We will be looking into eco-design and eco-design for sustainable products regulation of the European Union. But I just wanted to share this slide to help us to understand that the European Union announced that they won't be letting products to be sold in the European Union market if they're not durable, if they're not energy resource efficient, repairable, if spare parts of the goods are not available, if products are not remanufactured or remanufacturable, recyclable, harmful chemicals are not minimized, critical virgin raw materials are not minimized, recycled materials are not increased, and if the product doesn't have a digital product passport that presents the whole content and the production processes by 2030. So we have 5 more years. If we are not able to renew the products we produce, and if we are not able to collect data showing the content and the processes, we won't be able to sell in the European Union market. So basically, durable, we are capable of producing durable products. I don't know if you've seen this light bulb before. It's a bulb in the United States, fire station that has been burning since 1901. And think about the light bulbs at our houses, if they even manage to burn for 4 to 5 years. So we need goods, products. Next one, please. Next one. Next one. That are resource efficient, energy efficient. We need resource efficiency during the manufacturing process and we need resource efficiency, energy efficiency during the use phase of the products we produce. And I just wanted to show this train, Shinkansen bullet train of West Japan Railway Company, because it is a resource efficient train, but besides, it's a really good example how Japanese engineers are influenced from the planet. These they have biomimicred the kingfishers. These kingfishers are fast fishes, fast birds that fish in the sea, and it resembles the bullet train, as you see. Next one, please. So this is basically an omelette, and I just wanted to show that if we mix materials in a way that are not separable, we won't be able to actually dismantle parts of the objects, materials of the objects, and reuse them for remanufacturing or for other purposes. So we really need simpler designs. Unfortunately, next one, please. Our designs are not becoming simpler, but they are becoming more complicated, and it becomes even more difficult to separate materials used for manufacturing these products. Just keeping the omelette in mind. We need to be able to, next one please, produce products as the EU asks from us with spare parts available. So we need to be able to think on the products, whether if they can become modular and different parts, when broken, can be replaced with new or functioning used parts available in the markets. And the European Union mentions about the right to repair. They are working on repairability indexes. Next one, please. So the products that we are producing and selling in the markets should be repairable, and indeed they should be easily repairable by the consumers themselves. So the labels of the products will present repairability indexes to influence the consumer decision for the products sold in the European Union market. I think at this stage, this is what I wanted to share. I would like to give the floor to Mikkel to continue more with what's going on in the European Union market. Thank you.
Thank you. I will, before Mikkel, of course, I will stop sharing my screen, which how can I do this? I'm so sorry. Just a second, guys. I'm trying to find it. Yes, I think it worked. Mikkel, please share your screen.
Yes, thank you, will do. And while I'm finding my slides, I might mention that perhaps if there are any questions at this point, I think it might be good to address them now. Otherwise, let me see. Okay, to me, it looks like it's working, but I hope for everyone else this is the same. Otherwise, let me know. And then I can maybe add that, yeah, if there are no questions now, I will move on. But please do use the chat if any questions come up, we can address them as we go along.
Mikkel,
okay.
to me, it doesn't seem like it's in the presenter mode, but I can see all of it, all your screen.
You can see the window, no?
I can see the window still, at least on my end, but I can see the whole page as it is as well. So it's not such an issue.
As far as I can see, yeah, don't worry, you can see the toolbars and so on. This is the easiest way for me to present. So I hope it's fine that it won't be this PowerPoint-like presentation mode. I'll just be showing the images from the PDF version. Yes, so I wanted to give a brief overview of the relevant policies and the effects that we can presume, potential opportunities that we want to delve further into. But this is just supposed to be a little bit of a preview to following webinars. There's going to be one on next Wednesday where we look more on eco-design. And then there'll be one in December, 10th December to be precise, on deforestation, the EUDR regulation, the EU deforestation regulation. So we're not supposed to go deeply into them right now. At least that's not what I have planned. So I hope you'll bear with me if you were expecting something different. But do not despair. This is set for other dates where we have the time to go much more into detail. I just wanted to maybe add one thing so I will not tell you about the circular economy because I think Başak has done so in quite a lot of detail. What I just wanted to emphasize is, and I have this from quite a good authority, Professor Emmanuel Mousset that worked with us previously on circular economy. In particular, he is a professor at University of Louvain in Belgium, as well as Lyon in France, on quite specifically circular economy. And he pointed out to us the links between fair trade and the circular economy. So you see here 7 pillars that is some of those that he works with, and which also in the other literature of academics on circular economy. And I don't know how, perhaps for me, I have to zoom in quite a lot. I believe you can do so on your own screen and on Zoom. So if it's not easy to read, I just encourage you to zoom in. If I start doing so, I think it will mess up the experience for you. But I just wanted to highlight especially the pillar that says that value is generated in measures beyond just financial is really a key one. And to me, and as well as to Emmanuel, as I recall, this demonstrates that the approach of fair trade, where it's not just measuring your success in profits, or looking at the purpose of a company in terms of profits generated, but looking beyond, and especially how value is created and how it is shared amongst the participants in a company and the stakeholders of that company, whether they be producers, even buyers, customers, as well as the surrounding community, partake in that value. And how it is created. What I'm trying to say is that I believe that the approaches to business that we see amongst the members of WFTO, for example, exemplifies a fair trade where that is a necessary approach to looking at value differently in a more circular economy way, which is something that I mean, the mainstream business world struggling to implement circular economy, I think, comes from exactly this backwards view of what value is and what it should be. So I just wanted to emphasize that, as well as this is a model also borrowed from the Emmanuel Mousset, where he demonstrates. So you see all the different parts of the circular economy that Başak already presented: refuse, rethink, reduce, being the highest echelons. So those that involve least waste. and then as you go down. But what I really wanted to show was that actually we can foresee that just transition or like a more shift to a circular economy actually is one that creates jobs. And so it's also good for people. It's an economy that could, theoretically at least, but I also do believe in practice, if we do it the right way, be both good for people and planet. But this is where innovation comes in. Nevertheless, one where we can see the clear, again, kind of place for fair trade within the circular economy, because the conditions for those jobs will be key also to enabling us to rethink and produce in different patterns, which will not just be focused on cutting costs to maximize profits. So I hope you will take away as well my optimism, at least for the opportunities that fair trade has within the circular economy. Now, not to say that we just one-on-one can go and present ourselves as circular, but our approach has a big role to play if we want to see a circular economy that's implemented well broadly in society. And so these are practices, many of the practices you have in your businesses, I think will also be necessary to teach the mainstream, so to speak. But in the short term, this will mean you will be, you can be presented as more interesting partners for business because you already cover or are better able to adapt to and integrate yourselves into a circular economy than more mainstream actors are. There are less changes simply needed to make to the business model. And we believe this demonstrates, or this poses a very clear opportunity for fair trade businesses like yours. Now, moving on to the relevant legislation, there are actually 16 different ones originally under the Green Deal. Now, probably some of you have already heard how the Green Deal is a little bit in a tough spot these days, and that many of the legislations are either being reduced in scope, cut down on, significantly reduced in terms of criteria, or simply being eliminated altogether, because now there are significantly competing concerns, specifically or especially defense, but also competitiveness. And at the same time, in the different European legislative bodies, that's of course the European Parliament, but also amongst the member states governments who also participate in creating EU rules, there has been a significant shift to the right, at least compared to before. And I don't want to be apocalyptic or whatever, like doomsday, like in painting this, because indeed the shift to the right was not as bad as we feared a year ago, but it still has a significant impact. And just recently, the center-right parties in the European Parliament have now begun collaborating with the far-right part of the Parliament to get their way. When they're saying that they want to cut down on green legislation and the left side of Parliament disagrees, then now there is the precedent that they will just go to the far right and we will get an even worse deal. So the left is in a really, really very tough spot of and in a where it's not quite possible to have any sort of influence, because there will constantly be the threat that the center right in Parliament, which is the majority, together with the far right, will simply make their own deals, which will be even worse. So just to say that the best indication we have, unfortunately, is that this is going to continue. So, for example, the Green claims, we more or less assume that this will not happen at all, even though the directive has been passed and is actually ready to be transposed into the different member state laws of the EU. Sorry if I'm using some technical terms here, just to say that this is one of the ways that EU law becomes enforceable law is by making it into national law of the different member states. The green claims, any regulation, or sorry, any law called a directive needs to go through that process, whereas any regulation is directly enforceable by the European Commission, more or less, at least. This is the simple way to put it. So green claims we can kind of discount. The Corporate Sustainable Due Diligence Directive is still not completely finalized. I mean, it was, but now it's been changed, and there now the scope is so reduced that we assume it's going to be meaningless. But we are still comforting ourselves that that hasn't been scrapped altogether, because it still sets a precedent, even though it's a rather meaningless precedent in the shape that it has now. Nevertheless, I will say a few words about that, because it will have an impact, or rather, at least symbolically, let's say. But otherwise, the most relevant legislation that we will delve deeper into, and I'll say a few more words on that in a minute, will be eco-design. So Başak already looked a bit at this. And then sorry, where is it now? A little bit on the extended producer responsibility. Then we will touch a little bit on green claims, but mainly because there is a link to another directive called Empowering Consumers for the Green Transition. And then finally, deforestation, which is not part of this here, but is certainly a very important legislation, both for members of WTO, for fair trade enterprises in general, but also for a general, green transition. Now, I will just say the most basics on the different ones, and then otherwise we will delve deeper into these in the other webinars. Eco-design here specifically will be on next Wednesday. So this is expected to take effect in 27-28. However, the finer criteria are still under development, but our partners at the FTAO are part of an advisory panel that the European Commission has set up. And they are actively asking us for input from members in order to give their advice to the Commission on how the different criteria would be best set up. Now, this is a nice development to see, because we saw under the deforestation regulation that certainly advice from actors on the ground, if you will allow me to use that term, very broadly for both businesses in Europe, but as also businesses outside of Europe that will be affected or have to deal with these regulations. From the deforestation regulation, we could see that when you don't take advice from these kind of actors, you get something that is either very expensive, very, very difficult, or maybe even not quite enforceable or even practical to use, will not have the intended effect, and simply just be something you will find out once it takes effect that you need to change. So it seems that the Commission is taking a bit more prudent approach this time. But for this reason as well, so in the webinar on Wednesday, we will also be proposing some questions, especially also on digital product passport, which is a part of this, where we'd like your feedback, which we will then bring back to the FTAO on certain outstanding questions that they are in discussion with the EC about now. Now, just to be clear, of course, FTAO is just one part of a panel. So it doesn't mean that what we tell them will necessarily be taken up by the Commission, but there is certainly a chance. Good. I will not maybe repeat all of the different elements that Başak already actually covered on this. We will do so also on Wednesday, but just to say that on the eco-design, especially the idea that rethinking how products are designed in the first place and so produced is probably what will have the best impact on improving sustainability and reducing waste, especially. Again, we do believe that there are some opportunities here for the way that many of you already work and already approach design. And because environmental sustainability is, I know, not maybe a key thing for all of you, but at least for some of you. And so we want to build on the experiences from those of you who are already thinking along these lines when you design your products. Corporate Sustainable Due Diligence Directive, I'm using the acronym CSDDD or CSDDD, depends on who you are, how you put it, but it's the same. Just so you're familiar with it, you will see it if you read any type of EU-related news sources, you will see that a lot. Now, especially because it is a victim of the recent omnibus, this is a type of mechanism that the Commission proposed in autumn last year with the idea of simplifying. And it's pretty clear, I mean, off the record, of course, but pretty clear to most now that this was to respond favorably or what do you call it, like to how could I put it, to accommodate the Americans for new trade deals by simplifying so-called EU red tape. So the scope is now so minimal that I mean hardly any companies will be covered, only very, very, very few. But as before, as maybe some of you who have heard about this before, there is still the possibility that small and medium enterprises will be covered if they are supplying one of the big companies that will be covered. Now, okay, these companies are so big that there will still be a significant number of SMEs covered in that sense, because they will extend their needs to comply to their suppliers, of course. But it will be significantly less than we thought. So yeah, you will probably not be in doubt if you are going to be covered yourself. Nevertheless, this really was a regulation, a directive where we saw that we could promote also members by already, as companies already integrating some kind of due diligence in their business model and supply chains, which would mean that you would be more reliable supplier simply, and there'd be less need to introduce new due diligence mechanisms or mechanisms for oversight. This is less so, of course, but just the fact that the directive is still there still means that symbolically we still have this opportunity. But of course, we always have to balance that out with the fact that, and this was our fear for some time, that the fact that there is a CSDDD, and if it's relatively easy to comply with, many companies would say that, okay, now we are in full, compliance on human rights due diligence, which may certainly not from our point of view be the case, but of course, from a legal point of view, they would not exactly be wrong, perhaps. And so that would be quite easy for them to kind of greenwash or fair wash, in this case, their operations. So this is something we have to keep in mind, of course. Nevertheless, I think we have to approach this from the positives that we do see. And the profile of WTO members and fair trade business in general is is certainly that. Good. I think I should speed up a little bit, so I will just cover this final part very, very briefly. Green claims, as I said, we can more or less assume it's gone. But there is the empowering consumers for the green transition, or EMCO. Some of you here today I've seen knows about this and have some other concerns about it. Just to say, this is important also to be aware of. But this is maybe a bit more for WTO Global to make a move on, and we are trying at WTO Europe to support them with this. Nevertheless, if we assume then that we will find a good solution for WTO to be in compliance with the rules for certification schemes that Empowering Consumers Directive sets out, then again, having a label like the WTO will be a clear benefit because other companies could not claim to be either green, sustainable in the green terms or in the social terms without a label like this. And again, that would be then more attractive to buyers. This is a bit of a hurdle for us, I will be honest to say, but it is, I mean, if implemented in the right way by member states, and once the hurdles is cleared, it will be a net benefit for those that are covered by a verification or certification scheme like ours. Sorry, there. And then finally, the EUDR. I don't think that needs very much introduction. It's about deforestation. There are certain products that are in focus, mainly cocoa and coffee, rubber, but also cotton, for example, and naturally any products that have wood in it. So when we talk about fashion, certain types of accessories could be covered as well. This seems to be a little bit more of a risk, but it's more in terms of what solutions are there for what could be a difficulty for some producers, like reliable geolocation services and the due diligence statements. I will not maybe delve more into it today, because I think we should take a little time if there are any comments or questions. Just to say that this is something we will delve further into on 10th December, mainly focusing on trying to see alternatives or potential solutions that some of you that work with producers in very rural areas could utilize when geolocation is not something that is so easily implementable as the Commission had apparently assumed that it would be, as well as, of course, the paperwork that comes with this. But we believe there are some mechanisms that, where again, maybe the WTO scheme can ease the burden for compliance. Yeah, that's my part for today.
Thank you very much, both. It was really nice to listen to you guys. I would like to open the floor. As you said, Mikkel, maybe there are some questions, some issues that require a little bit of clarification on the part of our members today. So please, if you would like to raise a hand or just start speaking, this is the moment to do so. And in the meantime, I just want to thank everyone coming today, because we, as you know, this session was scheduled to be held last week, but we needed to reschedule it for today. And thank you for being here today, and thank you for being flexible for this last minute change as well. I want to quickly also remind everybody, while maybe everybody is gathering their thoughts, that I left in the chat a link to a survey to evaluate this session. This is very important for us to understand and to improve further training sessions. We will have 3 more training sessions in the next year. And in addition to that, as Mikkel and Başak said, we will have 3 webinars, which will be delivered by them, which are on the 26th of November, 10th of December, and 20th of January. I hope they're correct. I can remember it. So these webinars are already set in terms of dates and times. But in addition to those, like today's training session, we will also have 3 more training sessions on diverse topics for our members, organized by WFTO and Sustainable Journey in 26. So it's very important for us to have your feedback on designing them. So it would be really nice if you could quickly go in the survey and give us your feedback. And I would also like to remind everybody that we are sharing project updates regularly with our membership through different channels. Most important of which is our newsletter and our global WhatsApp channels. So I will also drop another message in the chat where you can regularly see the updates about the project. So there is a link that you can become part of the WhatsApp channel if you're not already part of it. You can also find links to our info hub, events page, where you can see the upcoming trainings and webinars. The video library, where you can see the recordings of all past sessions from Gateway to Fair Trade Fashion Project, as well as the future ones. They will be there. And please keep an eye for our ongoing updates and announcements in our monthly global newsletter, where we share every detail and every update for this project. So I will also drop that in the chat for you to take a look, and in addition to the feedback survey. So enough for me now. If there is anybody,
maybe I can also share that. Thank you for joining us today. It's been a one-way introduction to the whole content, but we are planning and designing the webinars in workshop format. So we want them to be as inclusive as possible. So we will be actually working together to understand how we relate to these European Union's Green Deal strategies, and how we can improve our production and consumption models. So we are planning more interactive sessions with these webinars in the upcoming weeks.
I have a question for Mikkel. Actually, sorry, my camera isn't working. My question is, how do you think the EU Green Deal will impact waste management firms in Global South? Because especially right now, there is a lot of waste. I mean, right now, for the past years, there have been a lot of waste inflows from, for example, even for textiles to the Global South or African countries. So what would be the negative or the positive impacts?
The assumption would be that there is going to be less of this kind of waste, not maybe in the short-term future, but in the medium term. This is the idea behind, for example, eco-design. But there is also one of the rules that talks about extended producer responsibility, where there are some provisions that have to be paid by producers or those placing products on the market to also manage their disposal. This is, of course, both supposed to facilitate that it can be disposed of in a better way than currently, where it is often dumped somehow in Africa or Asian countries, or also in Latin American countries, where it often ends up in a huge landfill. On occasion also taken up by waste management firms. But it's also supposed to, of course, the idea of a tax is also to reduce, it's not a tax, but it's administrative costs, like the carbon border tax, for example, is supposed to reduce or incentivize reducing certain behaviors. One of them is, of course, the production of what could in the end become waste. So the idea and the intention behind many of these rules are to reduce waste altogether, or to make sure that, for example, garments that once they reach their end of life for a consumer, that they can either be reused directly or repaired, or then at least the materials recycled somehow. And so that would mean less of this kind of waste. Whether that's a positive or a negative, I will leave up to you to interpret, of course. I do believe that there will still, unfortunately, be enough waste in the medium term for these kind of operators to still stay in business. But I do believe that we could see that some of the worst side effects of this waste and the way it's being managed today would be either improved at least or hopefully gone. I can't say much more than that. It's not really my field of expertise, but I know that there are also some NGOs that we are working with that delve a lot more into this. So I can also check with them if this is something you have a specific interest in. You can maybe forward me some more concrete points also by email.
Sure, I can do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we also have a question in the chat, Mikkel. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I just didn't have time to read it, but nice. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure if I pronounce your name correctly, Mayen, Mylen. You're working with Fundación Isabel Martín on these kind of things. So actually, this is one of the areas where we'd like to have as much feedback from you, maybe as you would like feedback from us. I cannot tell you very concretely about these points, but we will try to look at some of the solutions that are out there in the webinar on Wednesday, where we cannot provide you so many like ready to apply solutions just to make sure you have the right expectations for that webinar. But we are going to look into how you can rethink things and where you can find solutions that you'd be looking for, and then adapt them to your own reality. But actually, this is also one where I'd like you to send us concrete questions as you can in advance of Wednesday, and we can much better accommodate that. Because naturally, I think many members would hope that we can just give them the solution. If we could, we would. Maybe we can get very close, just to say. I hope not, yeah.
In that case, if they have specific questions until next week, should they contact you directly?
That would probably be best, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want
to
to
put my
quickly...
email in the chat.
Yes, thank you.
So everything is ready, right?
If there are no other questions, maybe we can wrap it up. We are exactly on time. Please raise your hand or start talking if you have any questions, or I will also keep an eye on the chat. Otherwise, I would like to thank everybody starting with Başak and Mikkel, for this session, for preparing and delivering it today, and everybody who has been part of the audience today. It was also as an audience member myself, as always, I'm learning a lot. Please take a look at the chat very briefly before I close the session, where you can find all of the links to all of the necessary links where we share the updates about our project, because it is a multifaceted project, as I briefly explained, with which will have the webinars in the next weeks, in addition to multiple different trainings in the next year. We have recently opened a grant call for our guaranteed members. It is quite a detailed process, but all of the details can be found on the info hub, and all of our members received it also, of course, through the newsletter. So there are a lot of things happening, exciting things happening with this project. We have developed, as some of you know, already a byline, which will be launched very soon, and hopefully we will build different partnership in the next year. So there will be a lot of exciting things in this project in the upcoming months. So please take a look at those. We're sharing all of the updates in a detailed section on the newsletter, and always on our WhatsApp channel, in addition to the info hub as well. So If you have any questions, you may always reach out to us. So with that, I would like to wrap up. Thank everybody, thank my colleagues. Isabella, is there anything you want to add? If there's anything I'm missing, please also warn me. Otherwise, I will close the session soon.
Thank you, Zerrin, so much. Thank you all for your participation. I guess we said it all. Did we mention the grant opportunity people should be watching for? They have been an announcement which went out via email very recently and has been shared also on the WhatsApp channel. So there is a 5,000 euro grant for the first fashion industry to help them build their capacity. And it's a very modular grant, so you can get the money for actually what you actually need. So please have an eye, don't miss this opportunity and apply if relevant, of course. Thank you so much, all of you. Have a good day, a good evening, a good morning to all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day, everyone.